It's with a very heavy heart that I make this video to inform you all of a very serious incident that just transpired a few hours ago. Sriwijaya Air Flight 182 was a scheduled flight between Jakarta Soekarno-Hatta International Airport and Pontianak International Airport. At 2:36 p.m. Indonesian time, the flight departed off runway 25 right at Soekarno-Hatta Airport, carrying 50 passengers and 12 crew. Roughly 4 minutes after departure, controllers lost contact with the flight and the aircraft plunged into the Java Sea. The scariest part is that this plane crashed right in the same area where Lion Air Flight 610 did back in 2018. Furthermore, the plane lost more than 10,000 feet of altitude in less than 1 minute, meaning it nosedived into the ocean at such a high velocity that there are minimal chances of survival. The Indonesian Navy was deployed to the area where Flight 182 is believed to have last made contact with Jakarta Tower. Local fishermen reported finding various traces of metal and clothing, and furthermore, Indonesian rescue services have found ruins that they believe most certainly belonged to the aircraft. The aircraft operating the flight was a 26-year-old Boeing 737-524, registered as pk-clc. This 737 was originally built in 1994 for Continental Airlines as November 27610, then transferred to United Airlines in 2010 following the merger. The plane was then delivered to Sriwijaya Air in 2012 and named Citra. Sriwijaya Air was founded in 2003 and has a fleet of 18 planes, making it the third largest carrier in Indonesia. They operate 737-500s along with the newer Boeing 737-800s and 737-900ERs, with orders for the 737 MAX 9. The airline maintains Indonesia's highest airline safety record despite facing 4 incidents before this. Out of those 4 incidents, only 1 was fatal but did not involve a passenger on board the flight. Sriwijaya Air has never reported any onboard casualties on their flights until now. Sriwijaya configures their Boeing 737-500s with 8 first-class seats and 112 economy-class seats, for a total of 120 seats. This aircraft had only 50 passengers on board, meaning the flight was roughly 42% full. Had this plane been fully booked, the incident could have been much worse than it already was. It can be assumed that passengers on board were following social distancing policies, and that's why the plane was so empty. We saw a similar case with PIA Flight 8303, which crashed back in May 2020. 97 people lost their lives on an Airbus A320 which had capacity for 174 people. PIA was following social distancing procedures, which explains the low load factor. Indonesia has been no stranger to aircraft incidents. Since 2000, the country has seen around 40 incidents, half of which were fatal. While Indonesia's aviation industry continues to grow extremely fast, poor safety standards are a reality that the country has to face time and time again. Indonesia has around 51 airlines, all of which were banned from the EU in 2007, following the crash of Garuda Indonesia Flight 200. All of these airlines, including Sriwijaya Air, were cleared and removed from the blacklist in 2018. So while safety standards have improved in the Indonesian aviation industry, more work needs to be done. The CEO of Sriwijaya Air claims that the 737 operating Flight 182 was in good operating condition. In fact, the plane had arrived safely just 2 hours earlier on a flight from Pangkal Pinang and had been flying without issue for quite a while. The weather at the time of the crash was fine as well, so it's unknown right now what exactly caused the crash. My theory is that there was some sort of system issue or something along those lines. Maybe it was an engine flameout or pitot tube malfunction, but what I think is that there could have been a faulty system of the plane which went unnoticed all this time and now it finally gave way. That was actually the cause of Japan Airlines Flight 123's crash back in 1985. Another thing we need to realize is that the aircraft crashed in roughly the same manner as Lion Air Flight 610 in 2018. Lion Air 610 nosedived into the ocean, and this was a result of faulty sensors with the Boeing 737 MAX, along with inadequate maintenance and failure to heed previous problems. Now you could argue that Flight 182 was operated by an older Boeing 737-500 with not as new systems, but you just simply can't ignore the similar manner in which these two flights crashed. Another ban on Indonesian airlines by the EASA might come up as well, but I think that's a little extreme. Even if it does happen, it won't be such a huge drawback, as the only European city served by an Indonesian airline is Amsterdam by Garuda Indonesia. Indonesia has faced too many aircraft incidents over the years, and this serves as a grim wake-up call to the country's poor aircraft maintenance records. Things need to be fixed up quickly in order to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. My thoughts and prayers go out to the families of all those lost on Sriwijaya Flight 182. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un.